basically what we have as far as kata is your choice of 3 and the 2 we picked. Your order. This works into part of the Bunkai process. Can you explain or show Bunkai or Baek?
So my understanding of that form or that kata would be that while it could be an attack from the side, block, execute my kick, 2 punches, it could also be a double lapel grab where he's grabbing me from the front and I would, so just for camera's sake, I don't want to block, right? But that's where I would step off to the side. 1, kick, and then 2, 3, my jab reverse punch for that side. And then, of course, there's the same grab from even maybe perhaps behind where he comes up with the shoulders. And so that's where I come up, block, 2 kicks, or a kick, and then 2 punches. Where it's coming forward of my knife hand and my high block, from here, it's a matter of, for me personally, is they might be either punching, where I come up and I block and I strike, or it might be, again, another grab, maybe even a chokehold, where I'm coming around and I'm coming up and striking, so breaking apart as I'm striking the neck. Yes, sir? So for this right here, we're gonna go over, as opposed to doing like a sport, bunkai, I'm going to deliver it in such a way where I would be teaching the application in class. And so earlier I had demonstrated a form 3D1 that we have here in-house, which is where my attacker to the left would throw a hook punch. So in this case, my Shantae will throw a hook punch to my face. And that's where I had my outside block, reverse punch, knife hand strike, reverse knife hand strike, and then of course our side kick. When I teach it as a practical application, go ahead and do a hook punch with your right hand, leading with your left leg, please. Leading with your left leg. So as she throws her hook punch, of course there's my, leading with your left leg. Thank you, yes. So as she throws her hook punch, I'll do my outside block, reverse punch, knife hand strike, reverse knife hand strike, and then instead of executing a high side kick, I'll come right to this lead knee and break it in. Okay. The other option is again, same strike, block, punch, and if she throws a counter punch, then my knife hand strike now turns into a block, then I have my reverse knife hand, and then I can either still do my low side kick, or I do my rear leg sweep takedown. So that's one option. And then say, same technique again, 1, 2, she throws counter, 3, 4, kick. Now, of course, after my takedown, my other attacker now comes in on side 2 and say he throws a low front kick. Then I'm gonna do my low block and my front kick right away, whether I'm gonna kick the hip or I'll kick the knee, whichever is available. He attacks 1, 2, and then there's my jab reverse. Come back up. That is, of course, in my opinion, surface level, where you have 2 different attackers. The other option is that it is both sides. It is one attacker that you're moving on both sides. So let's say she throws that hook punch again. I block. She counterattacks. I block again. Reverse knife hand, and as I go for that press kick or that low side kick, she evades it, she steps over, and then that's where I swing around. Then I have, this would be my low block, execute my front kick, and then of course finish up with my strikes. So my interpretation of that side would be that form, or my application rather, excuse me, would be that I can have 2 different attackers or just one attacker moving around. Then I would have had my third attacker here in front of me, which for sake of camera angle, we're going to be slightly off angle so that everyone can see it. So this is, I would have come here, low block. This is my side 2. My next attacker is going to go ahead and actually try to reach for my chest, do like a chokehold or a grab. That's where my inside block comes in, and then I have my 3 different. I'm going to show a side view, that way everyone can see it. Block, and I have my 3 different punches. 1, 2, 3, which of course it could be 3 different punches, or it could be 1 punch, he punches again, and another block and counter. And then side 4, somebody go to side 4 please, is where side 4 would be turning to the south direction, and that would be our high block, reverse punch. Again, he's going to try and take my back, and I hear his footsteps coming. He goes to try take. I have my high block, reverse punch. I execute my low front kick, and then if he's right there in range, then I'm giving him a roundhouse kick using my shin as well as my foot to take him out. And so that would be my demonstration of Bunkai when it comes to that kata, 3D1. Okay. So for the initial movement of striking 1, and then come back 1, 2 with our, in my opinion, reverse outside blocks, inside to reverse outside block. Here would just be, he does a double grab, double chest grab to the lapel, fantastic, and from here, I'm going to step forward, come in and break open, strike the neck, and then come around, swing around. 1, taking my inward block and hitting chest, back around again, hitting arm, around, and then strike. 1 here. And then from there, we have, from this movement, we have this downward motion into a strike and another strike. So From there, he's here in this position, come around, I'm gonna come down and around, and then strike again, 1. So what I did primarily there, judges, of course, as you have seen, but just to explain for our guests there, is I was sidestepping, counterattacking, blocking the most common strike, which would be a right-handed punch, right-handed hook punch at that, sidestepping to their left, and as they are most primarily leading with their left leg, it sets up easily for, of course, a block, a couple different punches to attack, and then our rear leg sweep takedown is what I had there. Judges, go ahead and attack in a different way again. You first, Dean. All these attacks, judges, obviously I am not aware of what is coming. Let's go one more. again. Stop. Wait. I'm gonna put this here. They're hearing a lot of ruffling, I'm sure. Yeah. How I teach it here, of course, with gun defense is they pull a gun on you, give them whatever you want. Money, keys, but if the threat is not to just intimidate, but if it is to take one's life, in my opinion, obviously nothing you can really do from far distance, but if they are close, maybe here in this range, a couple different defenses here. Actually, I only need one for this one. Thank you. You can pull the trigger. Okay. So just pull when I move, okay? And then, of course, break apart. Another option. Again, these two-handed. 1, 2, coming over.
One-handed?
No, one hand. No, this is okay. Other. Yeah. Okay. Go. 1. Break. Very cool. All right, very cool. Okay, so as I understand it, sir, you obviously want me to come at it from a teaching aspect. So, well, so if my attacker, my Uke-1, is attacking me here with his right hand, if he's coming with a straight punch, then of course we teach here to not just stay in the line of fire, but of course off angle and come out, whether it's your right 45 degree or your left 45. So we can come over here to his open side, or we actually will just come over here to this side. So ideally what I would teach is, if it's coming with a straight punch, then we're going to go over here to his closed side. That way I could, from here, do any number of different techniques, whether it's I'm striking his ribs, or maybe I'm coming up and looking over, taking down, or I might actually do a combination of a plethora of different strikes. So I could do any one of those. That is, of course, the ideal. However, what if scenario would be, maybe he throws his punch over and I slip that block and then he counterattacks with his other hand. Now I got to go the other direction, and then that's where I'm teaching here, coming down, executing a kick to the face, of course. Now, the formulation or the real life scenario, which would be, we don't know if that's going to be a straight punch or a hook. So because of that, if he throws a hook, let's say, I am more likely, me personally, more likely to come to this inside so that I can hit any vital organs, whether it's his trachea, solar plexus, or even just his groin in general, or a plethora of different ones. So as he throws his punch, I'll use my I'll use both arms because he is bigger than me. So I'll use both arms and strike. I might come here to the chest, down, up, and then knee strike. A couple of different ones. Now, let's say I have as I'm doing that technique here, then I have my attacker come up from behind me. Then that is, ideally, what I'll teach my students is, if you hear foot stomps, if you hear approaches, if you hear approaches coming up from behind, of course, center up as quickly as possible to keep your attacker in front of you. Because the principle I teach them is to keep your attacker in front of you at all times, but never stay in front of your attacker for long. And so if I hear his foot stomps, one thing I would do in an ideal situation is, of course, lead out. The reason why I teach, in this case, to come to this open side here, is because that's an easier footwork for me to do versus taking this step and coming all the way across. That takes me longer to be able to see my attacker. So in this case, if I finish with a strike here, he comes around, then I can lead around, and now I have him still in front of me. But let's say he does try and come and take my back or whatever grab. So he comes around here, and before I let him get this rear naked chokehold, then one of our defenses would be to slide the shoulders around, up, and take down. I can do that, or as he tries to come around again, I'm stopping this attack, because another principle I teach my students, stop the attack and then stop the attacker. And so from here, instead of sliding across, I could reach around this direction as well, come around, and then of course bring him down, take down. Thank you. As I finished here, then there's my third attacker, which grabs me however she would like. Again, same attack, come and grab. Now I know, smaller attacker, so I could be a little more refined. And so we have a technique, and we have our, everybody, obviously, all of our esteemed judges know this type of breakaway, this type of wrist grab and joint manipulation, which we have here, we named it, called reverse manicure. And of course, if you think, manicure, getting your nails done, showing your nails. So we have these certain code words just to kind of help students remember and escape more, because it's much easier to remember reverse manicure versus escape number or wrist lock escape number 56. So as she comes around, maybe she's trying to grab, and as I break apart, I might need to do a technique to break, right? And then as she comes around, I can come over and do my wrist lock, come underneath, and bend in and bring her up as well. And then take control, of course, of her wrist, her arm, and then over, and then